All right, hey everybody, happy new year. So this is our very first Create With Me, which is a spin-off of the Plan With Me community. And we're going to be doing some content creation in Canva. I will have my screen showing what I'm doing on Canva. So if you're here with me live, feel free to, if you want to work on Canva and your content and show your screen, you're free to do that, or you can leave your camera on or turn it off or whatever you want to do. So there's two printables that I have put links to in the chat, and I will also put them in the description of this video when it goes to replay. This first one is just a download that somebody made and put on Etsy, and it's the different fun holidays. And so what I like to do with this as an author is I like to go through the list and see, are any of these holidays going to be great for my audience? And I have it mostly, my audience is mostly moms, younger moms. And so anything that I think would be pertinent to them or a way for me to create value or something fun, especially if it relates to one of my books, then those are the holidays I want to highlight. But you can get this information for free. You don't have to actually get it. You don't have to download a sheet. I'm sure someone has a free one, but I couldn't find it. I think it's nationaldaycalendar.com is where you can go. That's usually the website that I look at. They sell calendars, like real calendars. And so one year I bought one of those and went through it, but it's just nice to have this kind of on hand. The thing to do though, so I know it's kind of hard to see, but like in January, okay, January 6th is Cuddle Up Day. So my friend Michelle Medlock Adams, who many of you know, has a book called Cuddle Up Prayers. On January 6th, that's the amazing day to be promoting her book, Cuddle Up Prayers, because it's National Cuddle Up Day. So one thing that's fun to do is, let's see, the 22nd is Polka Dot Day. Now, I don't really have anything that works for polka dot, but if you do, what you could do is let your audience know ahead of time. So like, I always feel sad when I see like a national picnic day happening on Instagram, and I didn't know it was happening because I wasn't paying attention to it. So one thing that we can do to serve our audience, which is what marketing is, I believe fully that marketing is about serving an audience. It would be helpful then if National Picnic Day is coming up to let people know the week before. So you're kind of the person who's letting your audience know ahead of time, hey, National Picnic Day is next week. So if you have an audience of moms, and just interchange anything that I say with your own audience. But what are some things that could help them celebrate National Picnic Day that's not going to cause a lot of stress? So maybe I go on Pinterest and find 5 different Pinterest accounts where people have a lot of content for picnics. And I can just list those 5 Pinterest boards in an email to them, or create a download that say, hey, here's 5 people you might want to follow because they've got really great ideas on how to do picnics. So I don't have to be an expert in any of the topics on these national holidays, but what I can do is I can be the person who's going to Google or look on YouTube or look on Pinterest and find people who really like these kinds of things and then share that with my audience, because it makes them trust you more, because they're always going to come back to your page or your account because you're the one who always has the inside scoop on the fun things that are going to be relevant to them. And that's kind of who we want to be, as when we're thinking about marketing, it's thinking about service. And every once in a while, we're going to talk about our own projects and our own books too. But for the majority of the time, our page is about serving our audience. And your books are going to serve them too. And so you can kind of like with Cuddle Up Day on the 6th, if you have a book on cuddles, then that's a great day to promote it. So these are great lists to do. So I'm going to be looking through this for me, looking at January and February and March. I'm trying to plan a quarter in advance and get those scheduled, because then you can kind of live life and do content in the moment, because you know that these kind of bigger things are already done and they're already scheduled. So you're not like spending the hour before National Picnic Day to come up with content. You're never going to feel behind because you're always going to be ahead of the curve. So these are fun to look at. And then the other sheet, and I'm going to put this link in the chat again, because I think if you come in after I put a link in the chat, you can't scroll up. So let me put this in here again. This is free for personal use from a creator called Squared Plans. I love her. She does functional planning videos, and she creates a lot of really great sheets. But this is a freebie that she was giving away, and it's just the important holidays list. So I've printed it out, and I've marked out quarter 1 holiday dates. That way I could look at this instead of my Google Calendar on my computer, because I wanted Canva to kind of be the main screen that I'm looking at. And then I also created at the bottom in the same color, it just says my list. And I've got 2 dates this quarter that are going to be important for my audience. We're doing another book binge, which we started over the Christmas break. I know some of you may have participated in that, where you just say, okay, this is the day I'm going to binge read. We did 12 hours of book binge, and it was so much fun. So we're going to do smaller ones, try to every month. We're going to do a 4-hour book binge on the 15th. And then we've got that contest coming up for the business. So it's a nice sheet because it's got so much space to write. So if you download that from her, please don't give her a like or a follow or just something to let her know, because it was really great that she offered that for free to people. So I wanted to pass that along. So what I'm going to do during this time is I'm going to open, I've got my Canva open. I'm going to kind of explain the way I do Canva. And then we can start creating. I'll kind of be talking out loud a little bit. If you've got questions, you feel free to pop on or throw them in the comment. And then definitely would love to know what you guys are working on and creating today too, because I think this is a great work time. So I'm not going to be on camera with my face, but I am just going to let this be my camera here, and I am going to share screen. All right, so this is my Canva. I've got to move all my thumbnails. I have this in the grid view. So down here in the right-hand corner, these 4 boxes is a grid. So if you unclick it, then it takes you back into probably what you're used to seeing when you're in Canva, which is all of your pictures like this. If you click on the 4 grid at the bottom, it lets you see everything at once. So these are some of the templates I've been using for the last couple of years. And then I just go in and change out the text and then delete it. I don't keep a whole bunch of these in here because I'm not going to reuse them. Once I save them, they're pretty much done. This is the one I created for New Year. And I decided that for the holidays or any of the holidays that are going to be coming up, I'm going to use this same template. So that's what I'm going to be working on, is any of the holidays. I think I'm going to go to Easter with these. But setting up your templates is, I think it's pretty important, because once you kind of know the different kinds of content that you want to be seen, like particularly on Instagram, which is the one I'm working on, then all you have to do is just go in and change any of the pieces of content. So I'll go back to this grid. So I'm using a quilted background on most of them. Pink and white and gold are the brand colors, so everything is matching. And then for the most part, I'm using the same fonts. So for any of the holidays, I'll be using this template. For any of the kind of the fun things, like some of you know, I'm a literary agent. And so when Twitter does pitch events or pitch parties, I'm always wanting to share that with my audience. So that's kind of what I've been using these for. I did a little mini series called Things Not to Say to an Agent, where I could describe more in detail in the caption. So if you can think about your content, what are some things that, like maybe make a list of like 5 to 10 things that your audience is always like asking, or like basic questions, or something that you could educate or teach or inspire for your audience, and then always use the same background, and then just create a bunch of them at one time and then download them to your computer, and then you can schedule them out. That's kind of what I have here. I have an am querying tips one. And then when I open and close for my agency, I just kind of created these little fun ones, but everything looks really cohesive. And so if you're just getting started making your brand kit for 2024, I would say create 2 or 3 different kinds of graphics that are going to look very consistent and look like you. So where when your picture pops up, or if someone's scrolling on Instagram, for example, and one of your photos pops up, they kind of like recognize it as yours. Like my sister has this, she uses the same filter on her photos. And so every time I see that filter on a photo, I always think, oh, that's my sister. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. But that's kind of become branded in my mind for her. And that's kind of what you want to do with your audience as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with holidays, because I think that's the easiest. They're the easiest ones to create fast, and especially like on camera. So I'm just going to duplicate it. And then the next one is Valentine's Day. So I guess I'll do a Valentine's Day one. I kind of like the 2024, but I don't know that it's really needed. So I'm gonna move things around. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start creating a Valentine's Day template. Like I said, I'm gonna try to talk out loud a little bit. Feel free to go ahead and start creating a template or creating your own. And then if you want to show them, I always like to see what people are creating. So feel free, you can let me know. I can let you share your screen too. And then I'm gonna be watching the chat if anyone's got any comments or anything to share. Oh, and Karen, I just saw in the chat that you just signed a new contract with Tyndale, which is fantastic. So congratulations on that. Let's see. A.M. Rivera received an endorsement from a megachurch pastor. Congratulations. I love all this good news. Okay, great. So I think I'm caught up on the chat. So I'm going to go ahead and start planning a Valentine's Day one. I'm going to talk through the steps. If it annoys you to listen to me talk through the steps, feel free to mute me on your computer, but I'm going to have it on here for the recording. All right. So this is my template, and this, because Valentine's Day is going to be the next one, I think I want to swap the photo. So I think I'm just going to drag my photo over here and kind of move some elements around and move this 24. But I want to find a Valentine's Day photo. I'm going to go down to see where the photos are and just search Valentine's Day and see what pops up. I am using the Canva Pro. It is one of the few subscriptions that I refuse to let go of because of all the amazing things that they give. So I'm always looking. Valentine's Day is easy for me because it's pink, and I have pink as one of my brand colors, but I kind of like the pink and the gold. And I'm looking for something that has like a vertical alignment, sort of like this. I'm just going to drag it over. And so what I have here is a grid. So I use a grid for photos. If you go to Elements and you scroll down, there's frames and then there's grids. And so you could use a frame for photos, but a grid will automatically pop over the entire portion of your photo, and then you can drag it to resize, which is what I did here. So I'm going to delete that. And now my photo is too big. So I'm going to just slide the photo to where I want it to be. And then I don't think I like that, but we're just going to leave that as a placeholder for now. And then a frame gives you whatever shape frame you have, and then you can drag a photo in there. What I like about using this versus just clicking on a photo is if I just click on the photo, it gives me the photo in the dimensions that the photo comes in. And then I would have to manually stretch it and resize it the way that I would want it to be. And I find it easier to kind of pull and put it into the grid. And then it just kind of resizes and stays exactly the way the grid shape is. So I find that a little bit easier. I really like this. So then you just take your grid and change it the way you want it. And then you can drag a photo. Yeah, I like that. Go to the 24. This right here is not actual text. It's not a text box. It's actually what's called an element. Again, no, it's a graphic. I'm sorry. It is found in Elements, but it is a graphic. So when you search Happy New Year, I searched Happy New Year, and sometimes you can change the colors. This one was one that was editable in terms of colors, but I couldn't change the text or move the text boxes around. So that's something to pay attention to, because I'm going to search Valentine's in here, and then I'm going to, in this menu bar, look for the graphics because I want to get something fun. Oh, I love this. Is my mom in here? Johnny, Mom, she loves bikes.
Yes, I'm here.
You see this bike, Mom?
I see that bike. Say that for me.
I saved it for you. I'm gonna put it onto my New Year one and hold it for you. It's under Valentine's Day graphics. So
Thank you.
that would be an example of branding. I see the
Yes,
bike
it
I did
would.
with my mom. There's just so many fun things. Like I love all the pink. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll take elements that I think are fun from over here and stick them. Honestly, what I normally do is I'll duplicate the page. So I know that I like the gold element here. I know I like the picture. If it stays there or not, I'm not sure. But if I'm wanting to collect things, kind of like I was collecting that bike and I like these hearts, I'll just duplicate the same graphic and just use it as a placeholder to collect things. Because that way I can always copy and paste them and move them into the one I want to work in. But then I'm not going back and forth all the time in this graphics area. So just see how the white. Okay, so this would be an example of an editable, it's a hard word to say, editable text box. So I can't change anything in the graphic in terms of the font, like I said, but as soon as I clicked it over, what popped up in this menu bar in this white box is it gave me a color box. So I can click on here. Now, when I said that I use Canva and I paid for Canva Pro, or it was called Canva for work for a long time, what I like about it is that you can do brand kits and you can save your hex codes and your which is really your colors. So a hex code is this 6 alphanumeric digit that applies to every shade you can possibly think of. So if I wanted to take like this pink color, this ED2C94 is the hex code for this exact pink. And so like once you know the colors that you want to use for your own brand kit, you can save them. So like I have mine right here. So this pink is my pink. Now I'm not really pleased on how it looks on the pink background that I have. So it's probably not the one that I would use. I might use, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to change the background. But you can pick the colors that you want. And then I even made a brand kit for one of my books. So I have a book called They Call Me Mom. And these are the colors that came from literally from the cover. So I took a picture of the book cover. I think I pulled it from Amazon. I don't know, but I uploaded it into Canva. And then I started clicking on the colors in the book to find the hex code. So I knew that these colors right here are the exact colors that come from that book cover. So anything I wanted to create in terms of creating content for the They Call Me Mom book, these are the colors that I know are going to work if I put that cover, especially if I put the cover on the picture. And then we have our serious writer. These are our colors right here. So it makes it so easy. And then you're not having to do a lot of trying to figure out what exactly your color is. That's another reason that I really like this. Now, one thing that Canva does, which is super fantastic, is if you don't have a brand kit, if you're using the free version, you might see this pop up right there, which is the photo colors. And so what Canvas does, it says in the back, here's the different shades that are happening in this picture. It pulled my logo, which I have it's kind of hidden. It's right here. This is my Jet Setter Ink logo. Click back on here and get back into the colors. These are the colors that are in that logo. And then in the picture that I stuck with these 3 hearts here, it's pulling the hex codes for these colors. So let's say, obviously for me, my brand kit color is not working right now on this. I don't like the way it looks, but I want to match this red. All I have to do is click here and I'm in that same family for whatever hex code it pulled from this photo. So it can go really fast to create this type of content with Canva because it's already finding the colors for you that are going to work, and all the elements that you can add in make it super, super simple. I love that truck. It's not really for my brand, so I'm not going to keep it. Anyway, so you can drag things from one to the other. So I'm going to stick. Just go ahead and make this real quick. But happy Valentine's Day. And then I think that this picture could just be this could just be the photo. Oh, I like that one better. Okay, so I clicked on the photo because I was hoping that I could raise these 3 hearts higher so they weren't in the middle, but this photo is landscape, meaning it's a rectangle like this, not in portrait mode, which would mean I could move the photo up and down. So I'm just gonna leave that. I'm gonna change the color back to that red. Get rid of that. All right, so what just happened as I dragged my logo across is this is a grid, like I said. So any photo that you drag into it, it's going to try to fill it. And this is I'm going to scoot it to the side. So as I move my logo photo over here, it's going to try to fill it into the grid, which I don't want it to do. So it's going to kind of tuck my logo to the side. If I drag it completely off the page, it will delete it. Then I have to go find it again. So that's one reason why I always kind of make a duplicate, because let's say on accident I move it, well, it's off the page now, so it's gone. And I could undo, give an undo button up here and it would just put it back. But I also have it here. So it's kind of like a safety. So I'm just going to drag this element here. And if this is where I want it, I'm just going to lock it. So you can find the lock button up here in this white bar, or you can click lock. And now, let's see. Yep. And now I can move any photo on top of this grid and it's not going to try to put that photo in there anymore. So typically once I have the background done, I know I'm going to be adding elements to it or maybe even photos to it. And that's just been a very helpful resource. Otherwise you're always fighting with the tool trying to snag that photo. Make this small. I don't know. I'm not sure this is exactly the Valentine's one that I'm going to keep because it's not making me very happy, but those are the elements on how to create upcoming content like that. And I know we're at 30 minutes. So I'll stop my share and just kind of open it up. Does anyone have any questions or comments, or has anyone played around, or do you know your brand kit, or was this helpful? I don't feel free to come on to unmute or.
So I love that you, I've been trying to play around. Oh, hi, Happy New Year, by the way.
Hey, Happy New Year.
I love that you picked Valentine's because that's one of my favorite of the year. And so I needed to do that anyway. So I just did the foster and adopt Valentine's party that I do every year for our kiddos. I don't know if I can share it.
Yeah,
now,
let me open up the share.
I don't have pro, so I just use the basic, but I have been liking and usually I don't share this publicly, so usually it's only our foster and adoptive parents that see it because it has, you know, the information of where the party is going to be and my phone number and stuff. But I do usually use like the same like little rainbows and hearts and stuff.
Oh, fun. The share is open if anybody wants to share what they worked on. I was able to open that up. Hey, Darlene. Yeah, having the same background has been really helpful. It's once I kind of figured out what I wanted to see on the feed, it made it much easier than to like then you just put text where you want the text to go or kind of change out some of the graphics. It made it so much faster. Sophia, you're in the middle of your book launch right now. You have a lot happening with the book launch. Like that's a lot of content to create for book launches.
So you helped so much.
Good.
Because I'm like, I have all these things stacked up that I need to announce. And I start from scratch all the time. And so my son designed a really awesome book plate from the graphics from the publisher. Said, what if I just use that? I'll share it when I get a chance, but it's really nice. And he's going to square it and portrait it. So I have something just to plug my announcements and links into, and I don't have to design a new one every single time because I'm so behind.
Good. I'm glad that's going to make it go faster for sure. Oh, this is Genevieve.
I didn't know if you could see it. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
am I sharing it?
Yeah, this looks great.
Yeah, it's simple, but for me, I don't like too wordy, but I
Uh-huh.
need that information on there. So yeah, I thought that was cool. I actually have
love
to put
that.
North Carolina on there. Yeah, thank you. I'll stop sharing now so other people can.
That looks great.
Thank you.
Sophia, feel free to share. Ooh. And that's from your book cover, that background. And then you're just going to put text in the white box as an overlay for the launch.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, that's what and he's gonna square it and
Mhm.
and make it portrait, but that way I have something that's consistent and looks gorgeous. So
And it's got your name on there, so it's already kind of watermarked with your that's fantastic.
so thank you though, because I'm overwhelmed ridiculously.
It's a lot.
Yesterday was science fiction day and I was working so hard on my things, but I also had 10 billion other things going. Plus I was getting my, my white stripes taken out. So I couldn't finish anything. I just kind of stacked up everything. So I'm just going to do it late. I'm going to say yesterday was sci-fi day, but guess what? I enjoy science fiction all year long.
That's right. Exactly. I love that. That's awesome.
I'll stop sharing. Boop, 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 boop.
And
There.
Revere said, I create my own book covers, website graphics from scratch. Everything I create starts with Canva. It's fantastic. It's such a great tool. One thing I love about it is on the pro side, they have a magic resize tool. Which I guess let me just show what that looks like, because I like to use that a lot. So one trick that I do, I don't know if it's a trick or a hack, but in the top kind of right corner, this is where you can title the document. So when you download it, this is what it gets saved as. One thing I do is I name it in a certain way. So like I'm using this for me. So BJet is my code if I'm searching for my stuff in my computer. But then I always put the size. And so this is a square, but it's Instagram size. So BJet IG will find anything that I have downloaded from Canva that's an Instagram size. And then I always have a name after it, or I'll rename it once I download. So like for the Valentine's Day, which I don't think this is what it's going to be, but if I were to download this, it would try to save it as this. And all I would do is take out the rest of the back and put Valentine's Day or V-Day 24 so I could find it later. But why I like to have this labeled here is because if you go to your home page, there's lots of different things here in Canva. And sometimes I'm just trying to quickly find what I want. So I know I can search BJet IG and it's going to pull up my thread. So in the magic resize, let's see, I had a newsletter, but let me just show it on here. So this is Instagram size. They're calling it magic switch now. It's just a different name. So basically you can resize these graphics into any other size. So let's say that I wanted to take this and I wanted to put it over on Twitter. Are they calling it Twitter or are they calling it X? Okay, it's still Twitter, but I wanted to make all of these into a Twitter post. And let's say I just want to do the first one. Click done. I'm going to continue. So what it's done is it's taken the same graphics. You can see here, it's not stretched it out all the way, but I'm going to click copy and resize. And now I'm going to open it. And now it opens a brand new tab for me. And here is that exact everything that I did. So I'm going to get rid of the bike. So now all I have to do is just a little bit of adjustments to actually make it look right for the new sizing. But you could copy and paste and create a whole new, if you're not using the Pro, all you want to do is create a new, click on this, create a blank Twitter post, and then go into your original. And I just drag over everything that I have in here. And then I click Control C or Apple Command C, whatever computer you're using, for copy. And then you can come in here and just paste it into a blank one, and it'll give you pretty much the same thing. So that's the hack if you're not using the pro version, to get the same effect. And then all you're going to do is kind of drag your stuff the way you want it to be. This is like really big on the screen. But then in just a little bit, you've got your, now you have your Twitter done. So if you're using two platforms, and you're like, let's say Instagram and Twitter is going to be your platforms, now you have that same content, and that took maybe 15 seconds to go ahead and create it for your other platforms. That's a way that if you're doing double duty, or maybe you've got 2 or 3 platforms you're creating content for, you can size it appropriately. For Facebook, there are different dimensions technically, but the square shows up just fine over on Facebook. So I don't resize I just consider Facebook to be an extension of Instagram, since Instagram is my primary platform. So if Facebook is your primary platform, I would just use a square there, because then it can push over to Instagram and look just fine over there. So you're not creating 2 pieces of content for that. Twitter is more of a landscape mode, so that one does look a little weird when it gets pushed over, but it seems to do pretty well on mobile, no matter what the photo is. Just a lot has changed over the last couple of years, so I don't necessarily always create brand new content for the Twitter sphere, because it's just a different kind of platform. But if LinkedIn has different dimensions and that's a platform that you're really wanting to use, you may want to switch. I really use Canva a lot for YouTube and Instagram. I think would be the 2 things I use it mostly for, and then to create PDF size documents, like letter documents that I can print out, and things like printables and things like that. So that's kind of use the magic resize tool. And then you can always, if you're not sure where to start, there are tons of templates. I mean, there's the templates that they give you that are available are incredible, and you can literally search anything. And now I've got a bunch of pink templates if I wanted to start with that, or if you wanted to do, like, let's just stick with Valentine's Day. Let's see what comes up. All right, so here's Happy Valentine's Day. If you're like, boom, that's it, I'm done, then you're done. Or maybe you just take this one and add your logo to, then now you're done. Or you can switch out some colors. So this has just really made social media stuff a lot faster, particularly if you're doing holidays or things like that, or even some of the fun holidays, like let's say National Chocolate Day. I don't know if anything's gonna pop. Oh, it did. International Chocolate Day. There's a lot of things. World Chocolate Day. You could actually just take that out and then put your own content in here for World Chocolate Day, if that's what you want to do. Let's see. I just want to make sure in the chat. Hey, Norma said, still learning about Pro, but loving it. Yeah, this is one of my favorite apps. Anybody else have anything that they created or want to share, or questions? And I just appreciate y'all coming in with me. This week still feels like holiday week. Like technically I'm still out of the office, but we have 5 Wednesdays in January, which is great. And normally we do our club and Patreon members, we do trainings on Wednesdays. And so it's like, well, let's do a bonus when Kyle's in New York with his family. So I don't know if he's putting pictures on Facebook or not, but they're out in New York, still on vacay. Oh, sure. Yeah, if please, you can go ahead and share your website. Or did you just want us to click on the website? That's fine too, if you don't want to put it on the thing. Let me see, I'm gonna click over to it. Oh, you're working with it? Yeah, I'll share a screen. I've got it pulled up. Let's see. Where's my Safari window? Okay. Is this showing up correctly? Is it her website or the? Revere. Well, that's great. If anyone gets dizzy when I'm scrolling, I'm going to scroll real fast to get back to the top. I'm going to click on the about. I'm going to scroll a little bit. Oh, this is good. I like the consistency of the colors, and I like these colors together, and I love the yellow, like as that pop that you've got going on here. Oh, and I love that. Oh, thank you for letting us see this. Oh, scroll down messages. All right. I don't see any other questions pop in, but if this is something you guys would like to do more of, kind of these create with me's, just, I don't know, let us know and we'll do more. We can dive into different aspects or go deeper dives into platforms and apps or scheduling or reels on Instagram. There's so many things that we can be creating. And I always love it when I find hacks or tips to make things go faster, so that we can get this stuff done. So
Bethany?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Ava.
hey,
This is a little bit off topic from the graphics, but just a thought
Mhm.
for the person whose website you just put up.
Mhm.
What I noticed about it was the proliferation of the first person pronoun, I, me. And I would suggest that if you've got people visiting your website for the first time, you want to appeal to what they need and what needs you'll meet for them. So it might be a good idea to reduce the first person pronouns and put more of the kinds of things they'll find that will be helpful to her audience, the audience she's appealing to.
thank you for that. I was nodding, but you can't see me because I've got my camera looking at my desktop. Yep, thank you. That was a great comment. That was great. All right. Well, listen, it was fantastic to see faces and names of all of you on here. And I hope that 24 is just a wonderful year for everybody. And like I said, let us know if there's other things that we could deep dive into. Or always always willing to do more of that. But thank you for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and end this, and I will get the replay up on YouTube today, and I'll put that out. I'll send that out in the email and then put it on our Facebook as well. So thanks for being here, y'all, and happy creating. Bye.
Thank you.